the consummate professional. Juan Pablo Guzman is a stabilizing force in the midfield for the Energy. The Colombian-born, American-bred 29-year-old is now in his second season in Oklahoma City. I recently had the chance to sit down with JPG and talk psychology, snowboarding, and brewing coffee.
Year numero dos for you in Oklahoma City, and now El Capitan. How you feeling?
Yeah, good, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, I feel incredibly honored and blessed and just really thankful.
What was year number one like for you in Oklahoma City?
It was good. It was good. It was a change from being in Colombia the year before that, and just a whole different lifestyle, and coming to a city a lot bigger than where I was living, and great group of guys, the coaches, everyone just kind of made me feel comfortable right away.
Let's talk about your roots a little bit. Originally born in Colombia?
Yeah, in Bogota.
Okay, and then went to high school in the States?
Yeah, well, I moved there when I was young, like
Okay.
5.
Okay.
To Charlotte and grew up there, and it's kind of home. It's where my family still lives.
But you did have 2 years ago the chance to actually go back and play in your home country.
Yeah.
That had to be pretty special for you professionally.
Yeah, it always been like a dream of mine, something I'd wanted to do at some point in my career, and the opportunity kind of presented itself out of nowhere.
I remember last year when the coaches were talking about bringing you in, they talked about a pro's pro. I think that really pretty much spot on for you. And every time because I'm up in the press boxes, I'm up on the sidelines a lot, and I'm next to scouts, I'm next to other coaches, I'm next to agents, and they all are impressed by your control of the game. Is that something that you kind of pride yourself on? Am I right saying that?
I'm honored that you say that.
Well, it's true, man. I'm not making it up. So,
yeah, I think it's a big part of my game. Just realizing the mental aspect of football, and how, I can do a lot of good things with my feet, but the quicker I am up here, and the more I'm able to organize and help my teammates, just makes the game easier.
We talk about the mental aspect, and that's kind of who you are, really. I know a little bit about you as far as you seem to be a little bit more cerebral than your normal football player. Maybe spend a little bit more time reading, that kind of thing.
I don't know about the average footballer, but I do. Yeah, I like to read a lot. I like to study, all sports psychology type things. Even like really big into nutrition and how I feel myself, and so I believe that whole mental aspect of things is really important. And actually, the year I spent in Colombia was a huge challenge and test for me mentally, where I learned and grew more in that aspect than I ever had. And so I started working with a sports psychologist, and just kind of learning to strengthen myself mentally, learning about meditation, visualization, and realizing just how much that affects the things you can do with a ball.
Do you have time for that visualization in soccer?
I think it's more the preparation,
Okay.
And then the positive self-talk and the habits that you've created throughout the week that apply in the 90 minutes. And I don't watch a lot of other sports, but I did go to a Thunder game, my first Thunder game.
Nice.
And man, I respect those guys a lot. They're incredible athletes. They're really good at what they do. But one of the things I notice is, like, they can get subbed on and off at any point. They can have a timeout at any point. And in soccer, you're on the field for 45 minutes, and mentally you can't switch off. You can't take a 2-minute break on the bench to like get your stuff together, and so I think that aspect is like unlike many sports where.
Juan Pablo Guzman was not a soccer player. What would he be?
Like I love snowboarding.
Okay.
And I think if I had started really young and could be a professional snowboarder.
Well, I mean, if you're 5 years old in Colombia, there's probably not a whole lot of snowboarding.
I didn't snowboard till I was like 18, so but that would be a sweet. I think that'd be sick.
Obviously, being Colombian, you have to have an affinity for cafe, or coffee for those keeping score at home. How does Juan Pablo pick a perfect cup of coffee?
I like to make it at home.
Really?
Yeah.
Press?
No,
No.
not really. I used to. I like AeroPress
Okay.
or just a pour over, like a Chemex or a single pour over. But I like to grind my beans, and I have a little scale and timer and all that.
Wow.
So that's my go-to.
hardcore,
But
yeah.
if I go out in Oklahoma City, I love OK Yeah, and I love Slingers, Elemental, and I actually live right next door to Leaf and Bean, which is also good. But I like to go to coffee shops in Oklahoma City more for the sit down with a book, hang out, I'll have a cappuccino with almond milk or coconut milk.
Goals for you, goals for the team this year?
Goals for me? I want to score some goals.
And that's fair.
Yeah, I'd like to score, 5 goals this year. That'd be a good thing. I think we should definitely have. I think we have the group and we have the talent and the unity to at least go back to the conference final. And I think that hasn't been spoken about, but I think it needs to be a goal for the group. I think we're more than capable of that.